Stop scrolling because your next relationship is going to shock everyone you know. Not because they're famous, not because they're rich, but because it's the last person you expected and the first person God has been preparing. Before I tell you the sign that proves it's coming, hit subscribe, tap like, and comment "I'm ready" so you claim it with your words. And stay until the end, because I'm going to tell you the one hidden pattern that reveals who this person is and why your past relationships had to fail first. Let's get straight to it. Your next relationship won't look like your type. And that's the point, because your type has been built by your wounds, not by your destiny. Some of you keep choosing the same person in a different body, different faces, same spirit, same emotional distance, same hot and cold behavior, same confusion, same anxiety, same heartbreak. And you thought it was chemistry, but it was actually your nervous system recognizing what it learned in survival mode. Let me say it in a way you can't forget. Your brain doesn't chase what's good, it chases what's familiar. If you grew up around inconsistency, your heart learned to call chaos love. If you grew up around emotional silence, your heart learned to call coldness maturity. If you grew up having to earn affection, your heart learned to call struggle romance. When God brings you peace, it feels boring at first, because your body is addicted to drama. That's why your next relationship will shock everyone, because it will shock you first. You won't be chasing. You won't be overthinking. You won't be decoding texts like a detective. You won't be begging for clarity. You won't be trying to prove your worth. It will feel simple. And that simplicity will scare the old version of you, because you're used to love that makes you lose yourself, not love that makes you find yourself. Now listen closely. The person God is sending next is not coming to complete you. They're coming to confirm you. And that's a huge difference. Because when someone comes to complete you, you cling, you compromise, you tolerate disrespect, you accept crumbs, you shrink. But when someone comes to confirm you, you expand, you breathe, you become more. You, not less. And this is where the shock happens. Because the next person is likely someone you already know, or someone connected to your current life in a quiet way. Not some random fantasy from across the world, not a magical stranger who appears in slow motion, not a person you meet only when everything is perfect. No, God usually sends relationships through real life, not fairy tales. Now I need you to hear this part carefully, because it's going to expose the reason you've been delayed. You weren't being punished. You were being protected. God was not withholding love from you. He was removing counterfeits from your path. Because you were praying for a soulmate, but entertaining people who were only assigned to break you. And some of you are still emotionally tied to the last person. Even if you don't talk anymore, even if you block them, even if you swear you're over, you're still tied because your mind keeps replaying it. What you should have said, what you should have done, what you could have fixed, why you weren't enough. But here's the truth. If someone required you to suffer to stay with them, they were never yours. Your next relationship will shock everyone, because it won't be a battle, it won't be a negotiation. It won't be you trying to convince someone to choose you. It will be mutual, it will be steady, it will be intentional. And the people around you won't recognize you, because you won't be anxious anymore. You won't be begging anymore. You won't be over-explaining anymore. You'll be calm, and some people will hate that, because when you finally stop being desperate, you stop being controllable. Now let's talk about who it is, because I know the title is loud, and I'm not here to play games. 3 specific possibilities, and one of them is going to hit you in the chest. Possibility number 1. It's someone you once ignored because they didn't trigger your trauma. They were too respectful, too consistent, too emotionally available, too kind, too clear. So you told yourself you didn't feel a spark. But what you really didn't feel was anxiety. And your nervous system mistook peace for lack of attraction. Let me say it like this. You didn't miss out on a good person because they weren't good enough. You missed out because you weren't healed enough to recognize them. But God can bring them back. And when He does, it won't feel the same, because you won't be the same. Possibility number 2. It's someone who used to be off limits. A friend's friend, a coworker you never noticed, someone you always thought was out of your league, or someone you assumed wasn't. And the shock will be this. They've been watching you grow, quietly, respectfully, from a distance. They didn't want the old you. They wanted the healed you. And now, you're becoming that person. Possibility number 3. It's someone completely different from your pattern. Different personality, different vibe, different background, different style. And the reason it shocks everyone is because it shocks your ego. Your ego likes what looks good. God likes what is good. Your ego wants butterflies. God wants foundations. Your ego wants intensity. God wants stability. And some of you are about to meet a person who doesn't impress the room, but changes your life. Now here's where I'm going to get real with you. Because the biggest shock isn't who it is. The biggest shock is who you become in that relationship. You're going to stop chasing. You're going to stop shrinking. You're going to stop feeling guilty for having standards. And you'll finally understand something. Your standards were never too high. You were just offering them to the wrong people. Now I promised you a Bible verse that fits this moment. And it's one line that hits like a hammer. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. That's Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart, not because love is bad, but because your heart is powerful, and whatever enters it shapes your future. That verse is not telling you to be cold, it's telling you to be wise. Because the wrong relationship doesn't just waste time, it rewires your mind. It teaches you to tolerate disrespect. It teaches you to doubt yourself. It teaches you to accept inconsistency. It teaches you to call crumbs a meal. Anymore. Now listen. The reason your next relationship will shock everyone is because it will be the first time you don't abandon yourself to keep someone. And people are not used to that version of you. Some people only liked you when you were broken, because broken people are easier to manipulate. But healed people are dangerous, because healed people walk away. Now let's talk psychology for a second, because I want you to understand the mechanism behind what's happening. When you've been in unhealthy relationships, your brain learns a pattern. It learns that love comes with uncertainty. It learns that affection is earned. It learns that being chosen is rare. So when someone treats you right, your brain doesn't know what to do. It feels suspicious. It feels unfamiliar. It feels too easy. And that's when people self-sabotage. They ghost, they pull away, they test, create problems. They look for red flags that aren't there, because their nervous system is addicted to the emotional roller coaster. So here's the first major sign your next relationship is close. You're no longer attracted to what you used to crave. You used to crave mystery. Now you crave clarity. You used to crave intensity. Now you crave consistency. You used to crave validation. Now you crave alignment. And that shift is not random. That shift is spiritual. That shift is God rewiring your desires. Because God doesn't just change your circumstances, He changes your taste, so you stop craving what destroys you. Now here's the second sign. Your old options are coming back. Your ex, your situationship, the person who left you on red for days, the person who treated you like a backup plan, the person who only wanted you when you were lonely, right when you start healing. And that's not a coincidence. It's a test, not a test of your worth, a test of your boundaries. Because the enemy doesn't need to destroy you. He just needs to distract you. He just needs you to reopen the door God closed. And the reason they return is simple. They can feel you slipping away. When you stop needing them, they start wanting you. But don't get it twisted. They don't want you. They want access to you. They want the version of you that still begged, the version of you that still waited, the version of you that still tolerated. But that version is dying. Now here's the third sign your next relationship is close. You're becoming comfortable being alone. And I know that sounds backwards, because people think love comes when you're desperate, but love comes when you're ready. When you're ready, you choose wisely, and the relationship God sends next won't be built on your fear of being alone. It will be built on your peace with being alone, and that's why it lasts. Now let's go even deeper, because I want to talk about why it shocks everyone. Most people around you have a version of you stored in their mind, a version they're comfortable with, a version who overgives. And when you finally step into a healthy relationship, it threatens the story they told themselves about you. Because if you can be loved correctly, it means you were never unlovable. It means you were just surrounded by the wrong people. And some people don't want you to realize that, because then you might leave them too. So yes, your next relationship will shock everyone. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's different. And different scares people who benefit from your old patterns. Now I'm going to say something that might offend you, but it's going to free you. Some of you are not single because you're unlucky. You're single because God is tired of watching you suffer. You kept calling it love, God called it bondage. You kept calling it loyalty, God called it self-betrayal. You kept calling it they're just hurt, God called it they're not ready. He's stepping in. That's why everything that wasn't aligned started falling apart. Friendships, connections, situationships, even your own old mindset. It all started collapsing, because God will ruin what ruins you. Now listen closely. The person coming next is going to feel like a mirror. Not a mirror that shows you your flaws, a mirror that shows you your value. They're going to reflect back the parts of you forgot. Your softness, your humor, your creativity, your innocence, your depth. You're going to laugh again. You're going to sleep peacefully again. You're going to stop checking your phone every 2 minutes. You're going to stop living in your head. And you'll realize you were never asking for too much. You were just asking the wrong person. Now I promised a cliffhanger in the beginning, so here it is. The one hidden pattern that reveals who this person is this. They won't compete with your purpose. They'll protect it. That's the difference between a distraction and a destiny partner. A distraction pulls you away from God. A destiny partner pushes you closer. A distraction drains your energy. A destiny partner multiplies it. A distraction makes you doubt yourself. A destiny partner makes you believe again. And here's how you'll know. Your life will get clearer, not more confusing. Your mind will get quieter, not louder. Your spirit will feel safe, not anxious. And you will still be you, not a smaller version trying to keep someone. Now let's talk about the moment you meet them, because this is important. It probably won't feel like fireworks. It will feel like familiarity, but not the toxic kind, the holy kind, the kind that makes you think, wait, why do I feel safe with you? And that's when you'll realize, this is not the same pattern. This is not you chasing. This is not you proving. This is not you begging. This is you being chosen. Now I need you to hear this part, because if you miss it, you'll miss the blessing. Your next relationship will require you to receive. And for many of you, that is harder than giving, because you're used to earning love, not receiving it freely. You're used to being the strong one, not being held. You're used to being the fixer, not being cared for. So when someone shows up and loves you correctly, your first instinct might be to push them away. Don't, because God is not sending them to test you. He's sending them to heal you. Now here's the final truth, and I want you to sit with it. Your next relationship will shock everyone, because it will shock your past. Version of you who cried at night. It will shock the version of you who begged for bare minimum. It will shock the version of you who thought love had to hurt. It will shock the version of you who stayed when you should have left. And one day you'll look back and realize God didn't delay you. He delivered you. So if you're ready for a love that is calm, consistent, and covered, type "I'm ready" in the comments right now. And if you want more videos like this, psychology, spiritual truth, and real guidance, hit subscribe and like, because the next video, I'm going to expose the biggest sign someone is a counterfeit connection, and why your spirit feels tired after talking to them. And trust me, once you hear it, you'll never ignore the warning again. And before you leave, I want you to do something bold. Comment this right now. God, remove every counterfeit, because your words are seeds. You speak, you water. Now let me make this even more real. Your next relationship is not going to feel like a chase. It's going to feel like a choice. And some of you have never experienced that. You've only experienced being tolerated, being liked, being kept around, being used for attention, being called when they're lonely, being remembered when they're bored, but being chosen, being pursued with intention, being protected, that's new. When it happens, you're going to be shocked, and the people watching you are going to be even more shocked. Because they're used to seeing you in survival love. They're not used to seeing you in safe love. Safe love is not weak love. Safe love is strong love. The kind of love that doesn't need to manipulate. It doesn't need to punish you with silence, guessing. It doesn't need to make you jealous to feel powerful. Safe love shows up. Safe love speaks clearly. Safe love doesn't disappear. So if you're ready for that kind of love, comment, "I receive safe love." Now here's the part that will hit hard. The person God is sending you next will not be impressed by your mask. They will be drawn to your realness. Because they're not coming for the performance. They're coming for the person. And that's why your healing has been so important. Because the old you was trying to be perfect to be loved. But the healed you understands you don't have to be perfect to be chosen. You just have to be aligned. Let me give you a key phrase that will change how you move. Write this down in your mind. Love is not confusion. Because some of you keep calling confusion mystery. You keep calling inconsistency busy. You keep calling disrespect. They're just hurt. If it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. So comment this if it's for you. Peace is my standard. Now listen. Your next relationship is going to be quiet at first, and that's how you'll know it's real. Because real love doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need to show off. It doesn't need to flex. It doesn't need to post 50 pictures to prove something. Real love is built in private. It's protected in private. It's prayed over in private. And that's why the shock is going to come later. People won't see it coming. They'll wake up one day and realize you're not the same. Your glow will be different. Your energy will be different. Your boundaries will be different. And the wild part is, you won't even be trying to prove anything. You'll just be living. Finally. Now let me tell you the moment it becomes obvious. Your life stops feeling heavy. Some of you are used to love feeling like weight, like stress, like pressure, like emotional debt. But the person God sends next will feel like relief. And you're going to keep asking yourself, why does this feel so easy? Because it's not forced, it's not toxic, it's not built on trauma bonding, it's not built on lust and loneliness, it's built on alignment. Now I want you to hear this carefully, because this is where many people miss their blessing. When the right person comes, you're going to be tempted to self-sabotage. Your mind will whisper, this is too good. They're going to leave. You're not enough. Don't get too excited. Don't trust it. That's not intuition. That's trauma. So if you've ever confused anxiety for intuition, comment, I'm learning. Not a suspicious mind. Not a mind that keeps replaying worst-case scenarios. A sound mind. And your next relationship will be one of the first places you experience that soundness. Now let's talk about the real reason this relationship shocks everyone. Because it's not just the person, it's the timing. It's going to happen when you finally stop obsessing, when you finally stop chasing, when you finally stop checking who viewed your story, when you finally stop entertaining low effort. And then, boom, God sends someone who meets you with effort, with clarity, with intention. And it's going to mess with your head at first, in a good way, because you're going to realize how much you normalize the bare minimum. So comment this right now. I reject bare minimum love. Now I'm going to give you a picture, a spiritual picture, so you can understand what's happening behind the scenes. God is not just preparing a person. He's preparing a partnership. And that partnership requires 2 healed people, not 2 bleeding people. Because bleeding people don't build, bleeding people blame, bleeding people break. But healed people build, healed people communicate, healed people protect what they have. That's why God has been working on you in secret. That's why you've been crying in private. That's why you've been learning to let go. That's why you've been learning to choose yourself. Because the next relationship is not a lesson, it's a reward. And I know some people hate when I say that, but it's true. Some relationships are lessons, and some relationships are blessings, and you can tell the difference by the fruit. A lesson drains you, a blessing grows you. So comment this if you're ready. I'm ready for a blessing. Something. Because I can feel it. Some of you are thinking, but what if I'm too late? What if I missed it? What if my past ruined my future? Listen to me. Your past did not ruin your future. It refined it. You didn't waste time. You gained wisdom. You didn't lose love. You lost a counterfeit. And God doesn't punish you for having a heart. He just teaches you how to guard it. Now here's a key phrase I want you to repeat in your mind. God is not late. Because some of you feel behind. You feel like everyone else is married. Everyone else is engaged. Everyone else is having babies. Everyone else is happy. But you don't know what's happening behind their closed doors. And you don't want a relationship just to post it. You want a relationship that lasts. So comment this if you agree. I want real, not rushed. Now listen, when this person comes into your life, your friendships will change. Your habits will change. Your priorities will change. Because when you're with the wrong person, you become smaller. But when you're with the right person, you become clearer. And here's the crazy part. The right person will not be jealous of your growth. They will celebrate it. They will not compete with your dreams. They will contribute to them. They will not make you feel guilty for your standards. They will respect them. They will not make you feel like you're too much. They will make you feel like you're finally met. And when that happens, you're going to realize something painful. You were never hard to love. You were just trying to be loved by people who didn't have the capacity. So comment this if it's hitting you. I forgive myself for staying too long. Now let me give you one more dynamic twist, because this is important. You think the shock is that the person will be new. But for many of you, the shock is that the person is someone you judged too quickly. You judged their look. You judged their status. You judged their personality. You judged their calmness. Because you were trained to chase flashiness, not faithfulness. But faithfulness is rare, and God values rare things. So if you want a faithful partner, comment, send me someone consistent. Now I want to close this with a spiritual warning and a spiritual promise. First, the warning. When you're close to receiving something real, counterfeits get louder. Old flames return. Temptations increase. People start acting interested. People who ignored you suddenly remember your name. Don't fall for it, because the enemy doesn't fight what you're not close to. He fights what you're about to receive. And now the promise, when God sends you the right person, it won't destroy your peace. It will multiply it. It won't distract you from God. It will bring you closer. It won't make you question your worth. It will confirm it. So if you're ready, comment one last phrase. I'm ready for God's best. And if this video spoke to you, hit subscribe, like, and share it with someone who keeps choosing the wrong people. Because the next relationship is coming. And when it happens, you're going to look back and realize God didn't just give you love. He gave you restoration. Now let me go even deeper, because some of you are about to experience the most confusing part of a God-ordained relationship. It won't feel like obsession. It will feel like peace. And your old self might try to reject it, because obsession feels like chemistry when you've been starved emotionally. But peace feels like nothing when you've been living in chaos. So if you've ever mistaken anxiety for love, comment, I choose peace over pain. Here's what's going to shock you. This person will not need you to prove yourself. They will not need you to audition. They will not need you to compete with other people for attention. They will see you, and they will choose you. And for some of you, that's going to feel unreal. Because you've been with people who made you feel replaceable. People who made you feel like you were always one mistake away from being abandoned. But the next person won't love you like that. They won't weaponize silence. They won't punish you emotionally. They won't threaten to leave every time you express a need. They'll communicate. They'll listen. They'll repair. And that right there will shock everyone, because you're used to surviving love, not building love. So comment, I'm done surviving love. This relationship will start, because I need you to be prepared. It might start small, a conversation that feels different, a moment of eye contact that lingers, a simple check-in that feels sincere, a person who actually follows through. And you'll notice something instantly. They don't just talk, they do. They don't just promise, they show. They don't just flirt, they lead. And your spirit will recognize it, not as excitement, but as safety. And yes, at first you might feel suspicious, because you're used to love that rushes fast and disappears. But this one will move with wisdom, and that's why it lasts. So if you want a relationship that lasts, comment, slow is safe. Now I'm going to expose a hard truth. Some of you have been praying for love, but you've been emotionally unavailable. Not because you're a bad person, but because you've been hurt. Love, but you don't trust it. You say you want commitment, but you panic when someone gets close. You say you want stability, but you miss the chaos. That's not your fault. That's your nervous system trying to protect you. But God is healing that. And the proof is this. You're starting to crave real intimacy, not just attention. So comment, I want intimacy, not attention. Now let's talk about the kind of person this will be, because this part matters. They will be emotionally mature, not perfect, but mature. Meaning they can apologize, meaning they can admit when they're wrong, meaning they don't run from difficult conversations, meaning they don't make you feel crazy for having feelings. And if you've never had that, it's going to feel like a miracle. But it's not a miracle. It's what love is supposed to be. So comment, I deserve emotional maturity. Might surprise you. This person might not be loud. They might not be flashy. They might not be the most popular in the room, but they will have something rare, character. And character is what holds love together when feelings change. Because feelings do change. Chemistry rises and falls, but character stays. So if you're ready to stop chasing vibes and start choosing values, comment, I choose character. Now let me warn you about something. When you start stepping into a healthy relationship, your old patterns will try to sabotage you. You'll want to test them. You'll want to see if they'll chase you. You'll want to pull away to see if they care. You'll want to create distance to feel in control. But control is not love. Control is fear. And God is not building your future on fear. So comment this, I release control. Now I promised you one more Bible verse line for this part. Is powerful. Love is patient, and in that moment, your whole body will exhale. And you'll realize you've been holding your breath in love for years. So comment, I'm ready to exhale. And that's when you'll understand why God didn't let the last ones work. Because the last ones were not safe. They were not steady. They were not sent. They were allowed, but not assigned. And God is not going to connect you to someone who destroys your destiny. So if you believe that, comment, God align me. Now listen closely. Your next relationship will shock everyone, because it will be protected. Not everyone will have access to it. Not everyone will understand it. Not everyone will approve of it. But you won't need their approval, because you'll have peace. And peace is the loudest confirmation. So if you're ready for what's coming, comment this final phrase, my next love will be God-led. When it happens, you won't have to convince anyone. The fruit will speak for itself. Now let me tell you something most people won't say out loud. Your next relationship is going to expose who was never really for you. Because when you stop accepting crumbs, the people who benefited from your low standards get uncomfortable. They'll call you different. They'll say you changed. They'll act like you're acting brand new. But the truth is, you didn't change. You healed. So if you're healing, comment, I'm not cold, I'm healed. And here's the wild part. Some people around you will secretly feel jealous. Not because they want your person, but because they miss the version of you that they could control. They miss the version of you who always answered, always explained, always forgave, always stayed. But the new you is not begging anymore. So comment, I don't beg. Now listen, when this new relationship starts, you might notice something strange. You're not performing. You're not trying to be cool. You're not trying to say the perfect thing. You're not trying to pretend you don't care. You're just present. And that is one of the biggest signs it's real. Because real love doesn't require acting. It requires honesty. So if you're tired of pretending, comment, "I'm done performing." Now I want to talk about the spiritual side of this, because this is where people get confused. Some of you have been praying for love, but God has been working on your discernment. Because your biggest problem wasn't a lack of options. Your biggest problem was a lack of clarity. You kept calling people "my person" when they were only your test. You kept calling people "soulmate" when they were only your temptation. You kept calling people "destiny" when they were only your distraction. But the next relationship won't require you to guess. It will be obvious. It will be steady. It will be covered. So comment, "No more guessing." Now here's something that's going to shock you. This person might come into your life while you're still building, while you're still healing, while you're still working on yourself. Because God is not waiting for you to be perfect. He's waiting for you to be honest. The right person doesn't need you to be flawless. They need you to be accountable. So, if you're ready to be accountable, comment, "I'm ready to do it right." Now let's talk about what this relationship will not feel like. It will not feel like anxiety. It will not feel like you're walking on eggshells. It will not feel like you're afraid to speak up. It will not feel like you have to earn love by suffering. It will feel like partnership. Have been missing. Because you've been dating projects. You've been dating potential. You've been dating people who wanted the benefits of love without the responsibility of love. But the next person, they want responsibility. They want commitment. They want to build. So comment, "I'm ready to build." Now I want to give you a powerful reality check. Your next relationship will not be perfect, but it will be healthy, and there's a difference. Healthy love still has disagreements. Healthy love still has hard conversations. Healthy love still has moments of misunderstanding, but healthy love has repair. The wrong person argues to win. The right person argues to understand. So if you want understanding, comment, "I want repair, not revenge." Now, here's the part that will blow your mind. Your next relationship will make you realize how much you were settling. You're going to look back at old conversations and think, "Wait, I used to accept that? I used to tolerate that? I used to excuse that?" And you won't even recognize the old you. That's how you know God has upgraded you. So comment, "God upgraded me." Now here's another thing. This relationship will be so healthy that you will actually have to learn how to receive love. And for many of you, receiving is the hardest part, because you're used to giving, overcompensating, overfunctioning. You were the one who kept the relationship alive. You were the one who sent the long messages. You were the one who apologized first. You were the one who planned everything. You were the one who made excuses. But this time, it's not just you. This time, love meets you halfway. So comment, "Meet me halfway." Now let me speak directly to the person who feels like they've been forgotten. Love keeps passing them by. The person who feels like they're always the one who loves harder. You're not forgotten. You're being refined. Because God doesn't give deep love to shallow hands. He's been strengthening your heart. He's been teaching you patience. He's been teaching you boundaries. He's been teaching you how to choose yourself. So when the right person comes, you won't lose yourself in them. You'll keep yourself. And that's the blessing. So comment, "I will not lose myself again." Now here's the Bible verse line for this part, and it fits perfectly. He makes everything beautiful in its time. That's Ecclesiastes 3:11. In its time. Not your rush time, not your lonely time, not your "I'm tired of waiting" time. His time. And His time is always strategic. Because God doesn't just want you to be in love. He wants you to be safe in love. Listen, your next relationship will shock everyone because it will be protected by God. And what God protects cannot be destroyed by opinions. People can talk, people can doubt, people can judge, but if it's God, it will stand. So comment, if it's God, it will stand. And let me end with this. The next person is not coming to take from you. They're coming to build with you. They're not coming to drain you. They're coming to pour into you. They're not coming to confuse you. They're coming to choose you. And when it happens, you're going to understand why it took so long. Because the wait was not a punishment. The wait was preparation. So one last time, comment, I'm ready for God's timing. Because your next relationship is closer than you think. Now I need you to lock in for this part, because this is where the message becomes personal. Relationship. It will be a deliverance, because some of you don't even realize how much your last connection damaged your self-image. It made you question your value. It made you question your intuition. It made you question your attractiveness. It made you question your voice. But the person God sends next will rebuild you without even trying, just by being consistent, just by being honest, just by being present. And that's going to shock you. So if your last relationship broke your confidence, comment, God is rebuilding me. Now let's talk about the moment everyone notices, because yes, they will notice. They'll notice you stop posting sad quotes. They'll notice you stop being online all night. They'll notice you stop oversharing. They'll notice you stop chasing validation. They'll notice you stop entertaining nonsense. They'll notice you're quiet, but you're not lonely. Quiet is loud. So comment, my peace is loud. Now here's the part that makes this relationship different. It will come with clarity. Not maybe, not we'll see, not I'm not ready, not I don't know what I want. Clarity. And if you've been in situationships, this will feel unreal, because you've been dealing with people who want access without commitment. But the next person won't treat you like a subscription. They'll treat you like a covenant. So comment, I'm not a convenience. Now let's get even more specific. The person coming next will not be addicted to attention. They will be devoted to growth. They won't need to flirt with everybody to feel powerful. They won't need to keep options to feel safe. They won't need to hide you to keep doors open. They will be proud to choose you. And yes, that's going to shock everyone, because a lot of you have been someone's secret, someone's backup plan, someone's almost. But you're not an almost. So comment, I'm not an option. Now I want to speak to the people who are scared, because I know you're there. You want love, but you're terrified of being hurt again. And that fear is valid, but it cannot lead your life, because if fear leads, love never arrives. So here's a key phrase I want you to live by. I can be open and still be wise. Open doesn't mean naive. Open means honest. Wise means you watch the fruit. So comment, open and wise. Now let's talk about fruit, because fruit never lies. The wrong person brings confusion. The right person brings clarity. The wrong person brings anxiety. The right person brings peace. The wrong person brings excuses. The right person brings effort. The wrong person brings inconsistency. The right person brings stability. And stability is going to feel like luxury to some of you. So comment, stability is luxury. Now listen. When you meet this person, you might feel a strange urge to run. Not because they're wrong, but because you're not used to being treated right. You might feel like you don't deserve it. You might feel like you're going to mess it up. You might feel like they'll eventually leave. But I need you to remember this. You don't have to be afraid of love that is sent by God, because what God sends, He sustains. So comment, God sustains what He sends. Now here's the Bible verse line for this part, and it's powerful. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. That's Ecclesiastes 4:9. A good return, not a painful return, not a confusing return, not a return of tears and stress. A good return, because the next relationship is going to add to your life. Now let's talk about the shock factor again, because some of you think the shock is going to be who, but the bigger shock is going to be how quickly your life starts improving.